Have you ever seen the movie Prestige? It's a whole magical tale about how everything that you see isn't necessarily the reality. Sometimes the most captivating tricks often have layers underneath, and if you can unpeel those layers, you reveal something far more impressive than the original trick itself. Some of the changes Ripple have made on their website remind me of these intricacies of a magic trick. On the surface of things, it might look like a simple change, but something far bigger is happening underneath. So let's go on this journey together. For exclusive content and opinions, you can find me on Rumble and on X.com. So the whole world of Ripple and XRP, all the community is getting very excited about what has just been found on Twitter in this amazing thread. So the thread was from an account called Utility for the Win. Make sure you go and follow him and read this whole thread. It shows photo evidence and screenshots. It's incredible. There are 5 things I've picked up here, and I'm going to discuss them right now. So you might remember, when you go to the Ripple website, you will remember there is a page for on-demand liquidity. It was right there on the website. You click it, it tells you all about on-demand liquidity. Well, in a fascinating chain of events, Ripple has taken down basically all mention of on-demand liquidity on the Ripple website. Even more specifically, the on-demand liquidity guide, when you search it on Google, looks like this. And as soon as you click it, it takes you to a different page with different verbiage. It starts to talk more about payments by numbers. And when you actually go to download the payments by numbers document, it doesn't mention on-demand liquidity in there, but it does mention XRP. So now instead of on-demand liquidity, what we're seeing is the term crypto liquidity. And so we don't necessarily understand what Ripple means by this. We can deduce because we understand how finance works and what Ripple's offering is. But the shift in terminology could indicate that Ripple is making a change here. A change for the better. So Ripple has been calling on-demand liquidity, well, they coined that term or created that product back in 2018. This is a couple of years before that Ripple SEC court case even came to fruition. The reason I bring that up is because I thought, well, maybe they had on-demand liquidity and they called it on-demand liquidity because you could quite easily make the argument to say that Ripple didn't want XRP to be out there for the open for everyone to know what the token was called. And because on-demand liquidity was created in 2018, potentially saying on-demand liquidity as a service or product was a better positioning for their marketing back then. Rather than talking about tokens, it's so much easier to go to institutions and companies with a product rather than here is a cryptocurrency or a digital asset. It's easier to epitomize it within the on-demand liquidity name. But I do find it interesting that as soon as we get clarity with the token XRP itself, and we have the likes of SBI starting to use XRP for remittances in a few payment channels, now all of a sudden, on-demand liquidity seems to have been ditched and XRP, the token, seems to be talked about more. There's an interesting timing there. So it seems like to me, even though on-demand liquidity is basically being erased as a product, it makes XRP's utility and value to these big institutions and companies and countries no less valuable. Here's where it gets really interesting because the timelines are revealing as well. The last time on-demand liquidity-centric information was even posted by Ripple was on February the 7th. That was 219 days ago. So is this just a rebranding exercise? Is it a strategic pivot? Or is it a preemptive move based on what's to come? So what do I really think? I honestly think that Ripple are positioning XRP as this asset that has legal clarity. This is the biggest selling point of XRP right now, is that it has absolute clarity that it is not a security. So if you go the on-demand liquidity route and keep it as on-demand liquidity, XRP always falls short of the marketing of on-demand liquidity. It doesn't get the limelight it deserves. And maybe there was uncertainty back then. And we all know there was uncertainty with countries, big institutions, companies about XRP, the asset. So naturally, as Ripple, you wouldn't promote XRP, the asset, if you could just say on-demand liquidity as a concept. And now that the court case resolved, time has gone on, countries and companies and institutions are understanding what liquidity is, what on-demand liquidity is, just by understanding what XRP is itself. And so I really think this is not a mistake, but I do think on-demand liquidity has moved out the way to give way to more of the this is what XRP is, the only non-security asset with clarity in the cryptocurrency market. So it shines a light, it emphasizes the big win that we had a few months ago. It might feel like the prices have come down and it's all kind of depressing, and I can see that sentiment in the audience, but they're positioning XRP as this prime piece of technology that people need to use. One that has no regulatory impediments or obstacles, XRP and only XRP. And I think once you position it like XRP, and then you have products underneath like liquidity, speed, cost reduction, energy efficient, world reserve currency, store of value, like you can build all of these things underneath because you know the strength of XRP and the clarity that it has underneath. So I don't just think Ripple is adapting, I think they're innovating and they are leading with a cryptocurrency with clarity. And you'll notice that with Ethereum, for example, Ethereum, the company, gets way more attention than Ethereum, the token. So when you look at it from the perspective of tokens with clarity, I think no other company in the blockchain space can lead with a token like Ripple can. They can lead their marketing and their promotion and all their conversations with the token now. They don't have to lead with, we are Ripple, we have a product called OnDemand Liquidity, and underneath that, we used our native token. They can move all of that upside down and say the native token is what drives all of this. And we can say it confidently with clarity. So things are changing in the crypto world. There's so much going on right now, even though it feels down in the dumps and it feels like nothing's happening. This is where the real moves are being made. I don't think this is a coincidence that Ripple are changing this tone of voice or removing on-demand liquidity. I think it's setting the stage for this next bull run and hopefully even a bull run of utility. As all of it unfolds, I'll be covering it. I'll be connecting the dots and trying to explain it as simply to you. Before you head out, make sure you're watching the exclusive content on Rumble and on X.com. The links are in the description. And if you want to register for my 1% mastermind, the link to be reminded when that is launched is in the description. Stay emotionless, and I'll see you in the next one.